Hello, friends. I got a lot of comedy tour dates. If you go to joerogan.com, you can get all of those this weekend, Friday night. I'm in Kansas City with the Ginger Assassin, Andrew Santino. Should be a good fucking time. joerogan.com for all that stuff. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the Cash App. Cash App's the simplest way to instantly send money to friends, and it's also the #1 app in finance. But it's got a lot more possibilities than that. The Cash App actually has features that you can only get from a bank and more than a few that you can't, like the Cash Card, boosts, and you can buy and sell Bitcoin. The Cash Card is a free customizable debit card that you can use at stores or ATMs. It's linked to your Cash App balance as if it were a checking account, and even lets you direct deposit your paycheck right into the app. Now, if you're looking for an alternative to traditional banking, you're not alone. Millions of Americans have already started using the Cash Card for that very reason. And there's never been a rewards program like Boosts. Boosts for the Cash Card, when you use it, you get instant discounts every time you swipe your Cash Card at coffee shops, Chipotle, Shake Shack, and beyond. Just tap a Boost in the app and pay with your Cash Card. Cash App is also the most convenient and inexpensive way to buy, sell, and withdraw Bitcoin. 20 years ago, something like the Cash App would have been hard to imagine. Now it's hard to imagine anything else. You can download the Cash App for free in the App Store or the Google Play Marketplace, and Google Play Market. And don't forget, when you download the Cash App and enter the reward code Joe Rogan, all one word, you'll receive $5, and $5 will go to Justin Wren's Fight for the Forgotten charity to build wells for the pygmies in the Congo. We're also brought to you by LegalZoom. LegalZoom, ladies and gentlemen. Now, here's a fact. Most Americans don't have a will. 20 years ago, that wasn't a shocking statement. All right? You had to find a trustworthy attorney. You had to pay them by the hour to draft your will. Like, fuck all that, right? You put it off. Well, today, there's no excuse. LegalZoom has made it very easy to create your own will. That's why there's more than a million people that have used LegalZoom for their estate planning needs. Right now is National Make-A-Will Month at LegalZoom.com, so now it's your turn to take control of your family and assets with an estate plan. It starts with a will or a living trust, and if you don't know which one is right for you, no problem. LegalZoom's network of independent attorneys will advise you on what's best for you and your family. Plus, LegalZoom is not a law firm, so you'll never pay hourly rates. Make things a lot easier on your family when you're gone. Check out LegalZoom's last will and living trust estate plans now during National Make-A-Will Month at LegalZoom.com. And for special savings, be sure to enter the code ROGAN in the referral box at checkout. That's code ROGAN for special savings only at LegalZoom.com, where life meets legal. And we're also brought to you by Quip. Quip is a subscription toothbrush. The toothbrush that I use. It's an electric toothbrush that's a fraction of the cost of bulkier brushes while still packing the right amount of vibrations to help clean your teeth. The truth is, most people are brushing your teeth wrong. We're brushing your teeth for too short an amount of time, and you forget to change your brush on time. That's because most brands focus on selling flashy gimmicks rather than better brushing. But not Quip. Quip's built-in timer lets you clean your teeth for a dentist-recommended 2 minutes with guiding pulses that remind you when to switch sides. And Quip has a subscription plan. And the subscription plan, why can't I say that quicker? Subscription plan, they're set up for your health, not just for convenience. They deliver new brush heads on a dentist-recommended schedule every 3 months for just $5, including free shipping worldwide. They also come with a mount that suctions right to your mirror and unsticks for use as a cover for hygienic travel wherever you take your teeth. And finally, everyone loves Quip. They were on the Oprah's O list. They were named one of Time Magazine's best inventions, and it is the first subscription electric toothbrush accepted by the American Dental Association. They're also backed by a network of over 20,000 dentists and hygienists, and hundreds of thousands of happy brushers use Quip every day like me. Quip starts at just $25, and if you go to getquip.com/Rogan now, you'll get your first refill pack for free. with a Quip electric toothbrush. That's get your first refill pack free at getquip.com/Rogan. Spelled GETQUIP.com/Rogan. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this podcast is one of those podcasts where if you hear the subject, you might go, this doesn't sound like it's for me, man. It sounds like some bullshit. If you're not into the wildlife, if you're not into conservation, if you think this doesn't affect you, it does, and it's terrifying. This is a podcast about a disease that's spreading through wildlife, particularly deer, across America. It's called chronic wasting disease, or CWD, and it's very similar to mad cow disease. And it has not made the jump yet to human beings, but there's a real fear that it could. And the spread of this stuff is terrifying. It's 100% fatal in deer, and it's moving across the country. My good friend Doug Duran, who owns a farm in Wisconsin, came here and he brought wildlife biologist Brian Richards to talk about what is going on with this disease, what happened, how they can slow it down, because currently there is no cure, there's no vaccine, there's nothing they can do. And the possibility of this spreading to human beings someday, although right now it hasn't, is absolutely terrifying. It was an interesting podcast. It scared the shit out of me, and it's very, very informative, and I hope you enjoy it. So please welcome Brian Richards and Doug Duran.
Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Yeehaw, and we're live. My good friend Doug Duran. Hello, Douglas.
Hello, Joe Rogan.
Good to see you as always.
Oh, man, it is good to be here.
Brian Richards, your friend, wildlife biologist. And, well, we're going to talk about a bunch of things, but one of the things that I wanted to talk about is this scary disease that, when Ted Nugent was on the podcast, he downplayed the consequences and effects of something called CWD, or chronic wasting disease, which has made it onto your farm. And you live in Wisconsin, and you have this beautiful place that we visited when we did the Meat Eater television show. And this is a new thing, that this chronic wasting disease, which decimates the deer's health and kills them. And the suspicion is that some of this, at least, comes from these high fence operations where people grow deer and treat them like, instead of like a wild animal, they treat them like a domesticated animal and have them all feeding off of the same pile of food, and they share this disease. Is this all correct and accurate, Brian?
Boy, you just started out about an hour's worth of conversation. So, yeah, just a little bit. I'm a wildlife biologist with the National Wildlife Health Center, U.S. Geological Survey up in Madison, Wisconsin. And so one of the things that I spend a lot of time on is chronic wasting disease. I wouldn't say that makes me necessarily an expert, but I've gotten to know a lot of people that I would call experts over the years. So I've gained a little bit of knowledge. So I don't even, your statement there, we could start a number of different places.
Yeah. This disease, it essentially... describe what it does to these animals and why it's such a major concern. It hasn't jumped to humans yet.
That we're aware of.
Correct. But it is a possibility, a very real possibility.
We can't rule it out at this point in time. Science is unable to rule it out. So, okay, that's a great place to start. Why would we care about this thing called chronic wasting disease? And I would argue, and some other scientists have argued, there's two major reasons. Number one is the impacts of this disease on members of the deer family themselves. And the other is that we cannot rule out the possibility that CWD could become a human health issue at some point down the road. Okay, so you kind of nailed those two. With regard to deer, or members of the deer family, white-tailed deer, mule deer, elk, moose, and most recently it's picked up in reindeer in Norway, of all places. We could articulate some reasons, some rationale why this disease might be thought of as being important. The first we look at would be geographic spread. So, CWD 20 years ago was thought to be this really novel thing in a very restricted geographic range in southeastern Wyoming, adjacent northeastern Colorado, and maybe a little spillover into Nebraska. wildlife biologists, wildlife disease specialists looked at this disease.